Colleagues, I am not going to waste time. I'm going to request on the apologies, and then we'll give National Treasury 30 to 45 minutes to do their presentation. And I'm going to request members that when we deliberate, we must not prolong the deliberations, but we must keep it to at least 5 minutes per member, because this is not our first meeting. We had this meeting, engagements were done, and some of the discussions will also be referred to and be thoroughly discussed in our portfolio committee meetings. So each member will be given 5 minutes. The department will be given 45 minutes maximum to give us the report, the presentation. Mr. Nodada.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning, co-chairpersons and honorable members present. Good morning, deputy ministers and DJ, together with colleagues. Chairperson, from the Select Committee on Appropriations, we have 2 apologies, Mr. Swartz and Mr. Khadebe. Those apologies are also applicable to the Select Committee on Finance. With respect to the Standing Committee on Appropriations and Standing Committee on Finance, there are no apologies, Chairperson. We also received an apology from the Northern Cape, Chair, from the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, Chairperson, Honorable Musia, and the committee. They are not present today, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The apologies are noted. Right away, let me welcome you, Minister. Before that, I see the hand of Honorable Mautwe.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I've got no intention of delaying the meeting, but I just want to raise this point that this meeting is said to be physical and not hybrid. The program was sent by the chairperson of the committee some weeks ago, which requested inputs from members. We, as the EFF, wrote to the chairperson, who then responded with a new program. And that program says today's sitting is physical. And to confirm that, even on our WhatsApp group of SCOF, there is no link for virtual. So these arrangements that you, chairperson, make with the minister is very wrong, because maybe some of us would have also liked to attend virtually, but because of the importance of this meeting, we're all here. So why is the minister giving a preference of being on virtual platform, which none of us is aware of? It's very wrong, and please, it must not continue. We wrote a specific letter to say all meetings must be physical. We responded with a program that says physical. So why are you changing now? Please.
Your point is noted, Honorable Mautwe, but unfortunately with the NCOP, Committees on Finance and Appropriation, we know their meeting has to be hybrid. That is why we do not have some of our members physical in the meeting today. But I think this is a point that we will discuss as joint chairpersons going forward. The communique that you have in the NA is not the communique that we had in the NCOP. We planned for hybrid sessions. Colleagues, Honorable Tambo, then Honorable Brian Molefe. And then also let me register the apology from the co-chairperson, Maswanganye. And I'm sorry, co-chairpersons, for not recognizing you earlier. Good morning. Honorable Maswanganye will leave the meeting at 2:00 if we are not done. Honorable Tambo.
No, thank you, Chair. I'm glad that you said that we may not be done at 2:00 and proceed further, because I think we must register that we do not agree that we've had this meeting before as a correct characterization of what we're deliberating on. I don't think it's correct for us to consider this meeting a continuation of a process that happened before. I think we must approach it as dealing with a new budget, a new fiscal framework and revenue proposals. And I would appreciate leniency, and I'm raising it in the beginning now because I know that we might want to go beyond 5 minutes. And if the limitation of 5 minutes to inputs is based on the fact that we've engaged the previous fiscal framework and revenue proposals, I think it's incorrect to characterize what we're seized with today as part and parcel of a process that happened before. That process was set aside by the Western Cape High Court, and let's deal with it as a fresh fiscal framework, as a new budget, and allow as much input as possible. Thank you very much.
Your point is noted, Honorable Pambo. But colleagues, like I said, I partly agree with you, but like I said, there are more meetings that are going to take place. We still have committee meetings that we need to attend to, which this will not be the last meeting that we'll attend to deliberate on issues. Honorable Molefe.
Chair, I don't think matter is that on the 20th of May this year, we did not have a budget at all. And we all understood that the budget process is starting de novo, which means from the beginning, right from the beginning, as if there was nothing before. So I agree with Honorable Tembo that this is a new budget and a new budget process. So we cannot deal with it as if we had a budget on the 20th of May. We did not. The process started again on the 21st when the minister presented his budget speech. Secondly, this meeting is called a presentation by the minister to the committees, standing committee and to the NCOP committee on finance. It is very startling. It's actually it's surprising that this being the minister's meeting to present to us his budget, he's not present. Is only available online. I mean, I don't know why we had to be dragged here if the minister is not going to be here. Why were we not told that he will not be here and for us to consider our options? Because we came here hoping to see the minister physically and engage with him. It is very different to be online, especially if you are the main subject of the meeting. I think, Chair, this is not a very light matter. I think that it is a matter that we need to reflect on. Very carefully, especially given that this is a new budget process. It's starting de novo. It's as if there is no budget. Thank you.
The last hand will be Honorable Squati's hand.
Thanks, Chair. I was actually going to suggest that let's stop engaging in semantics and start with the meeting, particularly because members need more time to really reflect on the matters or business of the day. So we're engaging in semantics. The minister is not here. Apology has been given, and I request that we start with the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Sikwati, but it must be recorded very clear that I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to be defensive of. What I was referring to was how the meeting will be conducted. And I said I partly agree with Honorable Pambo. That's why I raised an issue that it will be important that some of the issues must be taken to the meetings that will still be sitting after this meeting. It's not as if somebody's disputing anything. So when we engage colleagues, let's engage in good faith and try to, if we are to be honest to ourselves, members, it is our first meeting that we prepare for this meeting to take place for at least 4 hours. We've been having a 3-hour meetings. So today we are starting at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock because we wanted to create space for members to be able to deliberate. Previously, it has been 3 hours. So it must not be as if one is being unreasonable when requesting that members should at least take 5 minutes, because it would be unfair to say to members they can speak in as much as they would want to. It's not the first thing that happens in the meeting, but I was just trying to direct the meeting so that the meeting goes accordingly. Honorable Van Rooyen, kindly, colleagues, after Honorable Van Rooyen, let's allow the meeting to continue. We'll give to the minister and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you very much, Chair. And let me pass my greeting to other chairpersons there, but also to the leadership of National Treasury, led by the Minister in absentia. Chair, I think it's important that as much as you insist that we should proceed with this meeting, it's important that the seriousness of this meeting should not be reduced to just a compliance exercise. This meeting objective inter alia is to accord the minister an opportunity to come and take those of us who are deployed in these committees by respective political parties as voted for by the masses of our people. So what has been done by the minister is completely wrong. And he knows it very well that this is a physical meeting. And I think there is a pattern and a trend to that. As to why he opted not to be physically here is quite disturbing. And I want to really, on behalf of MK Party, convey our dissatisfaction, but also a clear message to Minister that it's no longer business as usual, where you'll undermine processes of a budget because you know that you'll be defended. No. And I'll want also to submit to this House that to show our seriousness on the attendance of the minister, I'll want to suggest to the members of parliament seated in this meeting that we postpone this meeting because this is a show of disrespect by the minister. And I will appreciate if members consider this particular suggestion seriously, because I think we should portray a clear message to our people. Thank you.
Your concern is registered, colleagues, but it's going to be very difficult for me to rule on that matter. Because like I said, we have two houses of parliament. In the NA, you knew that the meeting is physical. In the National Assembly, we were told all the time, even members of parliament, some of them are joined virtual because we knew that this is a hybrid meeting. For the postponement, I think I cannot rule on that matter because the invitation that we got, the preparations we made as committees of finance and appropriations in the NCOP is that of a hybrid meeting. Honorable Ryder, I saw your hand.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, yes, I just want to say we have got two ministers present here, and I think we appreciate their attendance. We've got the DG from Treasury and many senior officials here. We've become used to having virtual meetings. In fact, we were forced into that through COVID, and we've run very successful meetings and engagements for quite some time. So I don't think that there should really be a problem. Whether the minister's here or he's not here, we're still going to get the same answers. It's not going to change his answers, I don't think. And, you know, it's normal for parliamentary meetings to have certain restrictions and limitations on how long members have to interrogate or to have a platform to ask their questions and so on. I think 5 minutes is more than adequate generally. So, Chair, I would like to suggest that noting the time constraints with processing the fiscal framework, I think that we should push ahead. Treasury is well represented, as is the ministry. So, Siya Pambili, Ritswilopele. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, colleagues. I request that I give the minister a chance, and then any other member that would come. Do you want to come on the House rules? Colleagues, I'm going to give each of you that is raising a hand a minute to talk on the matter on the table. Honorable Des, Honorable Mauto, Honorable Ryan.
No, I just wanted to correct my colleague. I know the temptation is to elevate MEC to ministers, but there's no minister yet. We're having two deputy ministers. So that don't mislead the nation, please.
Colleagues, this is a formal meeting of parliament. The meeting is in hybrid. Everybody that is on the virtual platform and everybody that is physically in the house are present in today's meeting. This is a hybrid meeting of the joint committees on finance. Honorable Mauto.
No, thank you, Chair. I think Honorable Des put a motion forward, which we need to deliberate on. And it's not going to help you if you want to suppress that. It's a motion that says, let's debate this matter of the minister. And I'm going back to my point that I made earlier that we take time, we write letters, we're invited to engage on the program. We write letters. The chairperson of the committee, with full authority given to him by parliament, responds with a letter with his signature on it. The minister can't undermine that because he's undermining the entire committee. We're sitting with the letter of the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Finance that says today's meeting is physical. What you guys do in the NCOP, it's your baby. But here in the NA, the letter signed by the chairperson says this meeting is virtual, is physical. The last time we had this meeting, Chair, of the budget that has now fallen, the provinces were here. They flew down to Cape Town to engage on this matter. The minister was here because he understood the importance of this meeting. What has now changed today? That honorable member who speaks about deputy ministers who are in the house, these people don't have power of anything. When the minister is out of the country, Stella Ndabeni acted as the Minister of Finance in your presence, you too. So if you had powers, why was those powers of the minister not delegated to you? You've got no powers of anything. You're not going to be able to take any decisions here. Chair, we want the minister to be in this house. Let's postpone this meeting, call the minister to come here. He's busy going around addressing other platforms and not addressing this sitting. He knew about this meeting long time ago. And it's been the tradition of Parliament that every time after the budget has been tabled, the minister comes before the portfolio committee meeting. He must come here. We want the minister to come here. Thank you.
Before giving to Honorable Maimani, Honorable Mautwe, I don't think it's correct for you to say the business of the NCOP is our business and it has nothing to do with you. We are having a joint meeting today. We are part of this meeting and we also prepared thoroughly for the meeting, considering that the rules for both the houses of Parliament allows for a hybrid sitting of meetings to happen. So it will not be the way you think it has to be. It's not about the NA. We are also a house of Parliament and as the NCOP. And maybe I should take you through that even the venue for this meeting was not accommodated for. It was the NCOP.
Chair, let me
No,
reiterate
no,
that it's not
no.
necessary for you to be defensive.
I'm not being defensive,
No,
and
you are
I'm not going to
defending-
I'm
you are
not going to
defending
allow
things
you
that
to
do
do.
not affect you.
Honorable Molefe, I'm going to request that we respect each other. We're not going to do that. If you want to talk, I've said you will talk after Honorable Mauto. You are not going to interject when I talk. I'm going to request that we respect each other. Like Honorable Maimani, you wanted to respond before Honorable Molefe.
Thank you, Chairperson, and honorable members and members of National Treasury. It is fair to say there's been a historical practice as to how these meetings were convened. Let me highlight the historical practice. This meeting used to take place on a Thursday, post caucuses, and it used to be shortened because the National Assembly had a meeting at 2:00. We then correctly moved it to a Friday so that we can give it its appropriate time, given the new time considerations. So I think that's the first acknowledgement that says that the adjustment was made so that the engagement can be fulfilled. The second issue is that the other due consideration, now I speak on behalf of the Standing Committee on Appropriations. It is common cause that we have been struggling to secure venues all the way through. We have lived with the principle that says that we accept meetings that are both hybrid and physical. We have taken that view because there are two issues that are on the table. At some level, there's a cost containment issue that says that we need to ensure that when we deal with hybrid, we don't have to travel backwards and forwards to deal with. And the second one is that given the nature of this meeting, this accommodates in principle 4 committees, 2 in the National Assembly and 2 in the National Council of Provinces. Therefore, in the light of that, even if you had the whole day, it would be improbable to be able to have all the inputs in the full length that they are. This is not to suppress members. This is about ensuring that the agenda of the day is the focused one that says, how do we deal with the briefing post the budget? What the chairperson is also alluding to when he says the Division of Revenue Bill, the Appropriations Bill, and the respective legislature will serve in all the 4 committees individually, to which then the deeper interrogation of other issues will go into that. I want to also speak principally. Honorable members, we are on Budget 3.0. Yes, we have 2 duties as members of Parliament. The first is to represent our constituents. The second is also to have the trusteeship of this nation's fiscal sustainability. In the light of that, I want to plead with members that a postponement of a meeting that has been customary, it is fine to note a concern, but the customary nature of hybrid meetings has been taking place. A postponement of any nature, the National Council of Provinces is considering the appropriations bill and the division of revenue bill on the 30th of July. A postponement in principle means that if that deadline also, it cannot be shifted. So I want to plead that in this instance, we also recognize our trusteeship of the financial sustainability of our country in where we go. I have respect for both the minister, the deputy ministers, and the team that is here. And therefore, as perhaps maybe part of the new reality of the world as we have it, hybrid is part of that world. And I would urge that from a standing committee of appropriations point of view, this meeting was established as a hybrid one. Whilst I might accept that maybe in another committee a different issue was on the table, you can be assured that as we seek out venues in the next number of weeks, this challenge is going to be part of the reality with which we want to work. So, Honorable Member, I respect the inputs that have been put here. Can I urge and request that noting the objection and some of the points that members have taken, which I take on board, but I would ask that we proceed. I think that if we don't proceed, we miss out on the opportunity to be able to do the hard work that must happen post facto, not only today, but also post facto in being able to process the budget. So, Chairperson, I want to appeal in that regard. Thank you.
Honorable Molefe.
Chair, yesterday there was a breakfast meeting at which the minister was present in person to business. So I don't understand what is difficult for the minister to have been present at a meeting of the 4 committees of parliament to discuss the budget. I would beg, Chair, that we give the minister an opportunity to come physically before these committees and speak to us so that we can engage with him. We can engage with him in person. Kanama, Chairperson. I would therefore appeal to you, Chairperson, without you being very defensive, that let us call the minister to come here and account to these committees, as this is a new budget process. Thank you.
Honorable Sete.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just would like to put it to you to advise that we cannot allow a situation where this sitting is reduced to being open for a debate that is not there, that was not planned for. We can't be seen now debating the significance of presence and a person who's present on a hybrid. And we are all aware that there's nothing that is unlawful about a person present on both platforms. So we are unable to allow this meeting to be reduced to that. If we are going to be allowing that, then comrades, or not comrades, but members must then substantiate then what is the difference. And unfortunately, this is even not the platform. You can't now want us to listen to how important a person's presence is in their absence. Secondly, we can't be seen here also undermining powers, which person or which ministry has which powers. The fact that the ministry is here together with the team that is supposed to answer and elaborate all things budget 3.0, then this meeting must continue. Can we proceed, Chair?
Honorable Swart, I'm only allowing you because you've not spoken.
It's actually Brits, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, this meeting is governed by the joint rules of Parliament. The joint rules is applicable. It makes provision for virtual, and I propose, let's proceed, please.
Honorable Beasley, then Honorable Tambo, your last take on
Chair, as one of the few rational, constructive, pragmatic political parties in this House, I urge that we continue. Thank you.
Honorable Tambo.
No, thank you, Chair. I think we must register our strong displeasure on the minister's absence. It's his meeting. He's the one who's supposed to present here. It's disrespectful. It's undermining of the process, and it's unnecessary. The logic that we're living in a new age, and there's about 20 additional chairs here. There isn't a venue challenge relating to the minister's absence. The minister's absence is not a venue issue. It's an issue of him not taking us seriously as the Standing Committee on Finance, Standing Committee on Appropriations, and the NCOP. I would appreciate it if there was a serious challenge that there's no seating for the minister here. There is. So he's chosen to address us and listen to our concerns around the budget he presented 2 days ago from the luxury of his home. It's not a law question. It's an ethical question. It's a question of accountability. It's a question of respect. We've taken our time to come here physically, and we register our displeasure. You can make a ruling that we're proceeding, that we're not postponing. We're not offended by that. We're offended by the absence of the minister. It's meaningful, it's significant. And the concerns raised by members here should not be dismissed as if they're semantic. They're not semantic. If it was semantic, then the minister should have addressed the budget on Wednesday from the home as well. Could have addressed us from home. Why did you convene a sitting? That the last two budgets cost 1.4 million. Why don't we just make all of the budget sittings hybrid? We understand the significance of the budget. And this process is also as significant as the presentation of the budget. So we register our displeasure. We're offended by the disrespect. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I think all the concerns raised were registered or are registered and recorded. I would like to give time to the minister to take the stage and address honorable members and lead the presentation. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Greetings to all chairpersons, members of the committee, the leadership of National Treasury. Let me apologize for the inconvenience concerned. I have budgeted to be in this committee on Thursday. That's why I addressed a meeting in the morning of business. It was a breakfast meeting. But I was informed the meeting is on Friday. And at the same time, the NEDLAC presentation, I do two presentations of a budget, this committee and the NEDLAC presentation. And I had a doctor's appointment, which I communicated to one of the chairpersons, who then took to all other chairpersons, that in between these two meetings, I should be able to honor my doctor's appointment, because I moved my doctor's appointment to a Friday because I had the thinking that this meeting normally follows the budget on Thursday. To that extent, I apologize. And I must make the point, it's not the first time that we have had this interaction. I've had this interaction with the committee virtual. The only time where the committee took exception was when I went to G20, and there was no minister representing me at the time, and we apologize for that. Even now, because of this inconvenience, I do apologize, but there's a better background and context to it, in the sense that this meeting normally sits on Thursday, and in my view, I penciled Thursday as the meeting, and then I was informed it's on Friday. And I also have NEDLAC also is on Friday. So I've got to tend to both. Immediately at 2 o'clock, I've got to go to we've got to log off and address NEDLAC. That's also my request, chairpersons. If we're going to finish at 2, we must be able to address NEDLAC exactly at 2 with the same team. Having said all of that, let me accept that the budget itself and this contentious discussion now reflects the kind of contentious, the budget itself has been contentious largely because of the revenue proposals. We have attempted in this budget, in the light of all of these discussions, to take into account, as we have said, not only members of the House, but the general comment by the public. And in doing so, agreed to reverse the 0.5% increase. As the team will show, this also happened at the same time as the revision of the growth outlook. Those two effects have occasioned a substantial reduction in revenue. That's what we will be talking about. That substantial reduction in revenue has required that we do additional small adjustment on the revenue side. But primarily, we had to moderate our ambitions. I must make the point, moderate our ambitions, because our ambitions, what we're talking about, has been to increase rather than to cut budgets. On the 12th, we're increasing the budget by 232 billion, and we're still increasing the budget by 180.1 billion. So we've moderated our ambitions, but we're still increasing. And that is generally to deal with the impact on social service, particularly in provinces. Linked to that, to make the point that this budget is also not losing sight of the bigger picture of macroeconomic stability and fiscal sustainability. We also say that the budget is redistributive. If you look at the amount of non-interest spending going to social wages, is 20%. And thirdly, changing the composition of expenditure towards infrastructure and in a way stimulate growth. I would ask the deputy ministers and the DG to take the lead in making the presentation. Once again, given the context I've given you, I apologize for the inconvenience but I've given a context to it. Thank you.
Is there any input from the deputy ministers before I give to the DG? DG, over to you.